Many of us have experienced the feeling of being sidelined. You watch others move forward while you remain in a cycle of delay, wondering if you've been forgotten in a metaphorical pit as the world advances. Answering a higher calling often starts in this exact type of isolation. When Abraham left his home, he walked away from everything familiar, his family, his country, and his security, to head toward a destination he couldn't yet see. This period of total solitude creates a necessary vacuum. It strips away old reliance on people and circumstances to make room for a purpose that is far larger than one individual's comfort. The Creator acts as an architect. He holds a specific blueprint for every life. Even when external pressures try to overwrite the path, the original design holds firm. Human errors cannot erase what has been written. While Abraham focused on the immediate desire for a single child, the architect was looking at the rise of entire nations. Our micro-level frustrations often overlook the macro-level design being built through us. This shifts the role of a father from an owner to a custodian. His responsibility is to study this divine blueprint and translate its grand scale into the daily parenting of his children. Failure often creates a deep psychological trap. We assume that one wrong turn or a season of mistakes has permanently removed us from the intended path. The story of the prodigal son shows a different response. The father didn't wait for an apology at the gate. He saw his son in ruin and ran toward the mess. This is compassion as an active intervention. We see this restorative power in the story of Moses. He carried a rod that represented his history, including his past regrets. When he threw it down, it became a serpent he feared. But when he reclaimed it at the Father's word, that same history became a tool of power used to part the sea. Because a child carries their father's DNA, the parent experiences the child's suffering as their own. The father's heart is moved to intercept a failing trajectory because he shares the weight of the struggle. A father's true capacity as custodian is tested the moment his child faces significant failure. While natural instincts might lead a parent to mock or reject a child who has fallen, the divine model requires moving closer to them during the disaster. A child in moments of crisis is most vulnerable to shame. By staying emotionally close, a father provides the security needed to recover and try again. This presence builds a child's internal resilience. If a father fails to offer this grace, the child often abandons their intended path out of fear and isolation. However, providing grace is not the same as indulging bad behavior. Love requires addressing reality, not ignoring it. This diagram shows the logic of correction. The boundary doesn't crush the particle, but deflects it toward safety. Removing these boundaries, like the biblical Eli did, causes the lives under a father's care to spiral into ruin. Righteous discipline focuses on cause and effect. Removing a privilege or enforcing a rule teaches a child the weight of their choices. This is a teaching tool, distinct from emotional outbursts or physical brutality. Successful fatherhood holds these two forces in tension. Discipline without mercy leads to rebellion, while love without discipline leads to collapse. To successfully translate the divine plan for a family, a father must maintain constant contact with the architect who designed it. There is a distinction between a tent and an altar. A tent is for temporary convenience, but an altar is built with stone. It is a permanent, immovable center of life. Every child is different. Spending quiet, uninterrupted time in prayer is the only way a father receives the specific instructions needed to guide each unique path. Attempting to lead a family without this connection is like beginning a construction project without consulting the prince. It leads to errors that can compromise the entire structure. The final promise of this blueprint is that the father operates as an abundant compensation. He holds the capacity to restore years lost to mistakes and to rebuild ventures that once seemed dead. This light represents the power of the covenant. It reaches into stagnant, waterless pits to pull a person back into the sunlight of their original purpose. You can put aside the weight of past shame and step back into the design that was intended for your life from the beginning. When earthly actions are aligned with the divine blueprint, the path leads toward a purpose that cannot be derailed.